Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome to one of the best races I've had in 2025. We're in the Indy NXT for 10 laps of Spa-Francorchamps and we're beginning top split in P10 and we're already underway then, heading towards T1. I'm stuck on the outside. Got to be super careful about what's going on the inside because there's Adam Sands locking the brakes into T1 and he's off into the gravel. I think I've been able to hold P10 as a result of that. I've got Tatini just up ahead and of course we are closing in the draft as we head towards Eau Rouge, but thankfully I'm able to just stick in the slipstream behind him while we've got a little bit of time then on the Camel Straight. Let's see what happened to Adam Sands there. He comes so close, ridiculously close to collecting other drivers. We all get away with it as we're into Le Combe for the first time then, just snaking right, then left and then right again. The car is not up to temperature at this stage. I can feel the rear of the car unsettled all the way through there. The brakes likewise not up to temperature, as you see one of the drivers up ahead locking up at the hairpin, and so you've just got to be very careful to bring the car in to the race in these early stages while not losing too much ground on the drivers around you. And as we fast forward to the end of lap 1, I feel like I've been able to successfully do that. Tatini up ahead defending fresh air just a little bit there. Maybe he's focusing on me in his rear view mirror as we come to cross the start finish line for the first time. Maybe this is going to be my opportunity then heading into lap 2 to start making positions in this race. We've consolidated P10, Tatini wide through T1 there, and we're both nearly out onto the gravel as there's more debris on track from Sands' excursion on lap 1, but I'm now tucked nicely underneath his rear wing. We've got the push to pass boost for the first time then as we come up and up over Radalon there, and now I'm in his slipstream. I've got the boost utilised. I'm going to pull to the outside. He's defending to the inside here. This is going to be side by side into the braking zone, into Le Combe then. Is he going to give me enough space on the outside? Oh, I've got to trust that he will. We are still side by side through the middle part of the corner, but I'm just able to pull away, and thankfully he decides to live to fight for another day as he gets towards the end of that sequence of corners, because he could have easily tried to just stick his nose down the inside there and I think we'd have both been out and into the gravel. What a bit of racing early on in this session. I'm up then into P9 and the question is, how much more progress can I make through the remainder of this race? Well, over the course of the next couple of laps I closed in on the pack of drivers up ahead, including Nico Roman, who's now the next driver on track, and you can see just a little bit further up the road maybe there are going to be more positions to be gained in this race, but that is going to depend on my ability to get past Nico Roman as quickly as I can. I don't want to lose more time than is absolutely necessary behind him here, because at the moment it feels in the cockpit as if I am the quicker of the two of us. He's struggling to hit the apex there through the right and then the left. That's going to give me a little bit more impetus, but there's nowhere to go really in this section of track. I've just got to try and line myself up nicely in his slipstream for the back straight here then through Blanchimont and into the final chicane, but I'm slightly wide myself there. I'm going to use a little bit of boost to try and close in, but I don't think I'm going to be close enough, and that is a feature of the strategy of this race. You have to be super careful when you're deploying your push to pass. You're going to need it at some stage late in the race, and you can see there Roman using some of his. I backed off from mine knowing that I wasn't going to be able to execute a pass. I'm saving it for later in the race when I may very well need it when the time comes. So we cross the start finish line again then. We're still in P9, but that's about to become P8 as Tariquez up ahead is just overcooked it into T1, and I'm able to just squeeze past as he was rejoining there on the left hand side. So up to P8, challenging now for P7 as once again closing in the slipstream of Roman up ahead. He is going to choose to use that boost button once again. I am going to be a little bit more moderate with it. I don't think I'm close enough to really get near him into the next set of corners, so I'm going to use his draft. He can pull me along with his boost button, and hopefully that will come back to me later in the race when I'll have more opportunity to use the push to pass again. He is sliding the car through some of these corners. It wouldn't surprise me at all if his tyres end up going off. So let's just see if we get an opportunity through the next lap or so to really press home an advantage all the way through this section of track. It feels like I'm a little bit quicker. Again, he's out wide there, just kicking up a little bit of dust, perhaps showing that he's feeling the pressure in the cockpit. Through Pouon then. Wow, that is hard to keep hold of the car when you're following another driver so closely there. You get the aero wash, which just pushes the car wide, and very nearly picking up an off track there. We managed to stay nice and close though to Roman right the way through the middle part of this lap, coming then into the difficult double right-hander where getting a good launch out of that corner so you carry maximum momentum down the next long big straight is absolutely crucial. What's going to happen here then? Am I close enough to mount an overtake into the chicane? Well, again, I'm not really sure that I am, and again I'm sensing that he's using that push to pass button, and I'm just going to be a little bit more conservative. Up ahead, two drivers not being conservative are Stewart and McQuillan. They're side by side. Stewart is just going to lose the rear of his car coming through the exit of the chicane. That's going to give me another chance to pick up a position, one at the beginning of the lap, one at the end of the lap, and now we're up into P7 fighting for P6, and there's McQuillan P5 just a little bit further up the road. So gaining positions here, even if I have been stuck behind Roman for longer than I would have liked. Can I change that story now, as once again we come up through Eau Rouge into Radillon, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to. Again, I think he's just prepared to use more of that push to pass than I am at this stage of the race. So we flash forward later on the same lap, and again I'm still stuck underneath his rear wing and just now plotting my move into the final chicane. I've decided, come what may, I'm going to try and push home this advantage here and just try and get myself up closer towards the top 5 in this race. Let's see if I'm able to do it. Then I'm going to use a little bit of boost on corner exit. I am closing in here. He's going to take to the right hand side of the track, but I'm not close enough to then get all the way alongside and risk going too wide through Blanchimont. So I have to back off just a little bit, and now it looks as if I'm going to be too far back heading into the chicane. However, he is going to go in too hot. Roman is now right squeezed to the inside of the corner there. I'm going to do the switch back and I get a great clean pass after a few laps of just being patient, just biding my time. I've been able finally to squeeze past when he made a relatively small mistake but a crucial one, and I was able to position my car well enough to take full advantage of that. On to lap 9 we go then, and looking up the road, the gap to McQuillan and McCulloch may be just too much to bridge in the final couple of laps of this race. They though are fighting very hard into Lacombe. In fact, let's take a closer look at it because they're side by side as McQuillan is trying to press his way up into P4, and he's done it, but there's contact between the two drivers. McQuillan off to the left hand side there, and that is going to pull me up into P5, and the big question is, does McCulloch have damage? And am I going to actually be able to fight for P4 here? Well, let's just observe the drive up ahead as we get through the next couple of corners and see how much speed he's got down the straight, because he could well have picked up some front end damage from that collision. He's wide through Pouon. That is surely a good sign here, and I am closing in all the way then as we get towards the third sector of the penultimate lap of this race. I am not going to have much time to get this move done, but now surely I'm going to have a chance to challenge McCulloch towards the end of this lap. He is slow again through the right-hander. How much push to pass boost is he going to have left? I know that I've got about 30 seconds. I'm going to try and use some of it right now to try and get past him on the back straight, and it looks as if I've been able to do it. I tried to just ease off the push to pass to save some. He is using his to the max. We're side by side through Blanchimont. I get a little shove wide off the circuit there, and he is going to try and defend this around the outside as we get the white flag. One more racing lap to go. McCulloch holding on for now. I've got Luke Stewart behind me now as well, but my eyes are fully forward as we're just 0.1 seconds behind McCulloch as we start this final lap. A shape to the inside, just trying to put him off. He locks up slightly on the apex. I'm going to have the high ground here surely heading down towards Eau Rouge. I come out to the left hand side. I'm not going to be using my boost button here. I really don't want to go side by side up over the hill. What I want to be able to do is be in a good position to challenge through Lacombe. Let's see if I can do it. Stewart looming large in the rear view mirror. I'm going to peel to the inside. McCulloch is going to squeeze me as much as he can. I'm going to try and open out the corner as much as I can. We're side by side into the braking zone. Too wide through the first part of the corner. McCulloch fighting very, very hard on my outside here. Stewart keeping a watching brief. We're still side by side right the way through that complex of corners. But surely now I'm going to be able to hold the move into the hairpin. Wow, what a bit of racing that was. Mega respect to McCulloch there, because we were side by side and very, very close on track for multiple corners that could have all ended in tears. I was just able to maintain an overlap through the middle of that section of track. It meant McCulloch couldn't turn in without risking contact, and then that gave me the advantage into the next corner. But wow, that was mega enjoyable. And on the last lap of this race, fighting over a P4 in top split, I'm not sure it gets more enjoyable in terms of iRacing than that. That is awesome. Here we go again from the chopper cam. You'll get a sense of just how close we all were, and Stewart just seeing whether there might be an opportunity for him to sneak past both of us. But I'm also sure he'd have been bracing himself in cockpit just in case the two of us made contact and we ended up collecting him. In fact, let's see it from his vantage point. One final perspective on this wonderful bit of racing. Here he is. You can see he's just seeing if he can open up the corner and maybe follow me through here. And as it would happen, he would then try and attack McCulloch through the next part of the track. And as we're coming now to finish the final lap of this race, Stewart would get the move done on McCulloch. It would be right on the last lap. He will come home in P5. I'm going to come home in P4. A terrific race, that one. Absolutely breathless. What a combination. The Indy NXT car at Spa. It's a marriage made in heaven. We're going to get a fantastic haul of championship points, great boosts to the I rating and the safety rating, but it's the quality of the racing that I most enjoyed there. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like, get subscribed, and I will see you on the next one.